attitude. You know, Winston Churchill said that attitude is the little thing that makes the big difference. In fact, there's many quotes out there about attitude. You know, guys, let me tell you about attitude. It's very, very straightforward. It falls into two key areas. You either have a winning attitude or you have a losing attitude. It's as simple as that. A winning attitude will allow you to take on the tasks that you have to achieve in your life with far more energy, enthusiasm and effort. And as a result of that intensity, you're more likely to succeed at whatever it is that you choose to do. If you have a losing attitude, what tends to happen there is you'll find ways of avoiding doing what you want to do. You'll find ways why it won't work. You'll find problems all along the way. And as a consequence, your behaviour towards your attitude, towards whatever task you have to achieve, is more likely to be slovenly. Well, slovenly behaviour will lead us to negative results. What we need is a positive behaviour in everything that we do. Now, we've got to understand, what is it that shapes our attitude? Okay, well, our attitude is a result of our past experiences, our future perceptions, and other people's experiences. And those three areas combined create an attitude. It's as simple as that. Let's think about it. Past experience. If a past experience has told you that something you're about to do will be dull and boring, then guess what happens to your attitude next time you have to go and do it? Quite straightforward. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It becomes dull and boring, doesn't it? Okay, whereas if past experiences have said, hey, what you're about to go and do is going to be great fun. You're going to love doing it. It's going to be absolutely amazing. You're more likely to go and do it with energy and effort, aren't you, and enthusiasm. And as a consequence, those positive emotions and behaviours that you're displaying will get you the result that you need. Let me share with you a very, very simple story about attitude. A story about a guy called Dr. William Penfold. Now, Dr. William Penfold studied the phenomena of twins. Now, you may have heard about the phenomena of twins. It's very, very straightforward. Effectively, there's a belief out there that if one twin hurts himself in one country, then the other twin, wherever they might be, can feel the sensation of that pain and that experience that the first twin is going through. Penfold was fascinated about the phenomena of twins and decided to interview as many as he could just to see if this belief was true. So Penfold came across a set of twins in London and set about interviewing them, studying the phenomena of twins. And the first twin he went to see was really down on his luck, to be fair. He lived in a very, very rough part of London. He couldn't keep a job down. He'd been married 3 or 4 times. He had a number of children from different relationships. In fact, to be perfectly honest, he was struggling. Penfold knocked to the door. The guy opened the door, a little bit dishevelled, holes in his clothes, tatty environment, takeaway boxes all over the place. This is a guy that was really down on his luck. So Penfold did the phenomena about twins, studied the process of the twins, and at the end of it he turned around and he said, can I just ask you, he said, how did you end up like this? And the guy turned around and said the following to Penfold. He said, well, to be perfectly honest with you, William, he said, when I was a young lad, I used to live with my mum and dad. My dad was an alcoholic. He used to come home late at night, drag mum out of bed as she'd gone to bed, force her to cook him some dinner. He used to beat her up. He was rude, he was obnoxious, he was horrible to me and my brother. And to be fair, he gave us pretty much a hard time. Anyway, one night, we're lying in bed, and he came in at about 11:30, 12 o'clock, and he was absolutely paralytic drunk. Mum had gone to bed. He went upstairs, he dragged mum downstairs by her hair. You could hear her bouncing all the way down. He's slapping her and hitting her, and giving her a real hard time, swearing and cursing at her. And proceeded to knock her about the kitchen, making so much noise that it woke me and my brother up. And we would have been about 12 years of age at that time. And we came downstairs to see what was going on. We stood at the top of the stairs and saw our dad physically beating our mother up. So we came charging down the stairs and got involved, started to push our dad out of the way. And he got very, very angry with us as brothers. He broke my brother's arm and he gave me a right hand and knocked my tooth out. The very next day we woke up, Dad had gone to work and Mum said, come on kids, we're out of here. We're not staying and putting up with this anymore. And to be honest with you, I've never seen my dad since. I don't know if he's alive or dead, and I really don't care. He was a horrible man. He said, based on my upbringing, how else did you expect me to turn out? And Penfold said, right, fair enough. Thanks very much for that, sharing that with me. A couple of weeks later, he went to interview the other twin. Now, the other twin lived in a particular part of town in London. He had all the trappings of success. He was a wealthy lawyer. He'd married his business partner. And absolutely gorgeous children, 2 girls, absolutely stunning girls, private education for the children. He had all the trappings of success, the toys, the houses, the boats, the yachts, homes in faraway countries. He was a very wealthy man in many, many ways, not just the money side of things. Okay, then we can all agree then, can't we? We can achieve far more with a positive attitude, a positive winning attitude, than we ever will do with a negative losing attitude. You may recall that I said there were 3 key components to making up your attitude. Your past experiences will tell you what attitude to hold towards the task that you're about to achieve. Your future perceptions will create an attitude on something that hasn't even happened yet. So let's see how that can come about. So imagine you have to go and achieve a task and you've done it some time ago, but you've got to go and do this again. It's in the future. You're already carrying a set of perceptions about what that experience will be like, and yet it hasn't even happened yet. And those experiences are enough to hold us back, or to, in other words, to create a negative attitude or to create a positive attitude inside of us. So a future perception is this. It's our belief about something that was going to happen to us in the future that hasn't even happened yet. As a result of our past experiences, the beliefs create an attitude inside of us that is either positive or negative towards what it is that we have to do. Let me give you an example. If you had a terrible time at with a particular type of customer, for example, if somebody walks in and says to you, right, you've got to go and see that customer again in a week's time, then you will adopt what kind of attitude? It'll be a negative attitude, wouldn't it? Because you think, oh no, here we go, they're going to put me through all this again. And yet, it hasn't even happened. So, the future perceptions are enough to create attitudes inside of us that will create a really awful behaviour on the outside, even though it hasn't even happened yet. Okay, how does other people's attitudes influence us? Well, very, very straightforward. They share with us their findings, and as a consequence of those findings coming to us, we hear and we associate the feelings with them. And that allows us to decide whether what we're about to do is either going to be good or bad, based on the experiences that the other people have had. And yet we haven't even carried out that experience yet.